The ancient world has 1,000 ways to kill you, and the quiet ones are the worst. No blade, no army. Just a cup handed to you by someone smiling, or a sweet drink you pour yourself. Here are 10 poisons that ran through the bloodstream of the old empires, and the people they emptied. Hemlock. It's 399 BC in Athens, and a 70-year-old philosopher named Socrates is holding a cup that the state has prepared for him. He's been convicted of corrupting the youth and disrespecting the gods. The sentence is death, and the method is hemlock, the city's official tool for the job. Hemlock comes from a plant that looks like wild parsley, which is exactly why people keep dying from it by accident. The poison inside is conine, and it works from the ground up. Socrates drinks, then walks around the room until his legs feel heavy. He lies down. The jailer pinches his foot and asks if he can feel it. He can't. Here's the cruel part. The poison climbs. Your feet go numb, then your shins, then your thighs, and the cold creeps toward your chest while your mind stays completely clear the whole way up. You feel yourself dying in real time, fully awake for the commentary. When the paralysis reaches his lungs, Socrates stops breathing. His last recorded words are about paying back a small debt, calm to the end, narrating his own shutdown. Aconite. It's the 1st century in Rome, and gardeners are being executed for the crime of growing a flower. The flower is aconite, also called wolfsbane, also called monkshood, and the Romans give it a better nickname, the Queen of Poisons. It earns the title. The toxin is aconitine, and it's so aggressive that you don't even need to eat it. Brush the cut leaves with bare hands, and it can soak straight through your skin and into your blood. Picture being a poisoner in this era. You don't need a cup or a plan. You need a glove you forgot to wear. The plant punishes carelessness. Aconitine attacks the nerves and the heart at the same time. Your mouth goes numb, then burns. Your face tingles. Your heartbeat scrambles into chaos. Within hours, you're cold, vomiting, and your pulse is firing in every wrong direction until it simply stops. Rome has a problem because aconite is everywhere, and ambitious people keep using it on relatives who are slow to die naturally. So, the state makes a decision that tells you how scared they are. Growing the plant in your garden becomes a crime punishable by death, a flower so dangerous that the empire treats cultivating it the same as plotting murder. Arsenic. It's the ancient world, and the perfect poison has just been found. It has no taste, it has no smell, and when it kills you, it looks exactly like something you ate. Arsenic is the assassin's dream. You can stir it into wine, into stew, into honey, and the victim notices nothing. Then come the cramps, the vomiting, the burning gut, the collapse. To everyone watching, it's a bad meal, a stomach gone wrong, nature taking its course. That disguise is the whole point. In a world with no chemistry, no autopsy, no way to test a corpse for metal, arsenic lets you kill someone and have the death certificate write itself. The symptoms mirror dysentery and food poisoning so closely that nobody goes looking for a murderer. So it becomes the tool of the patient and the greedy, the poison you use when you're standing in line for an inheritance and the person ahead of you is taking too long to leave. A pinch a day building up, and the rich uncle simply fades. Everyone nods. Such a shame about his stomach. For centuries, it kills quietly inside families, hiding in plain sight. Because the deadliest thing about arsenic is not how it works. It's how ordinary it makes death look. Belladonna. It's evening in the ancient Mediterranean, and a woman is leaning toward a mirror, dripping plant juice into her own eyes on purpose. The plant is Belladonna, deadly nightshade, and the name itself is the tell. Belladonna means beautiful woman. The juice contains atropine, and a tiny amount in the eye blows the pupils wide open, big and dark and glassy. To people of the time, that look reads as desire. So women poison their own eyes a little to appear more seductive, accepting blurred vision and racing hearts as the price of the effect. That's the small dose. The plant does not stay polite. The same chemistry that widens a pupil will, in a larger amount, race the heart until it loses its rhythm entirely. Eat the glossy black berries, which look exactly sweet enough to fool a child, And atropine floods the body. Your skin goes hot and red, your mouth dries out, you hallucinate, you thrash, your heart sprints past the point of control, and then it stops. Same plant, same poison. One drop makes you beautiful, and one swallow makes you a corpse. The ancients understood the difference perfectly, which is why Belladonna shows up in love and in murder, sometimes from the same garden, sometimes from the same hand. Lead. It's Rome, and the empire is sweetening its wine with a slow death and calling it a luxury. The Romans love sweet wine, but sugar is rare and expensive, so they make a syrup called sapa by boiling down grape juice for hours. The trick is the pot. They boil it in lead vessels, and the lead reacts with the juice to form lead acetate, a compound that tastes genuinely wonderfully sweet. They even have a name that translates to sugar of lead. So they poured this lead syrup into their wine, into their food, into their sauces. Rich Romans drink it daily. They're getting a small dose of heavy metal with every cup, and they think they're treating themselves. Lead does not leave. It builds in the bones, in the brain, in the nerves. It causes gout, stomach agony, infertility, memory loss, mood swings, and a kind of creeping confusion. Some historians argue you can see it in the behavior of the elite, the erratic emperors, the falling birth rates among the wealthy who could afford the most sweetened wine. The poor drinking plainer stuff are in some ways safer than the rich. That's the dark joke of it. The Romans poison themselves a cup at a time from the top down, and they pay extra for the privilege. Mercury. It's 210 BC in China, and the most powerful man in the world is dying because he's trying to live forever. His name is Qin Shi Huang. He's the first emperor to unify China, the man who connects the early walls, standardizes the writing, and builds the terracotta army to guard him in death. He's accomplished everything a human can. So naturally, he wants more. He wants to never die at all. His court alchemists promise him immortality, and the key ingredient in their elixirs is mercury. Shining, liquid, strange. It looks like captured magic. The emperor swallows mercury pills, mercury wine, mercury tonics, convinced each dose pushes death further away. It does the opposite. Mercury is a neurotoxin. It corrodes the brain and the body. The emperor grows paranoid, erratic, sick. His mind unravels in exactly the way you'd expect from a man being slowly poisoned by the thing he thinks is saving him. He dies on the road, possibly mid-pursuit of yet another immortality cure. The man who conquers an entire civilization is killed by a metal he drinks on purpose, and he loves it so much that his tomb is said to hold rivers of liquid mercury flowing forever around the corpse of the king who chased forever and lost. Snake venom. It's 30 BC in Egypt, and a queen is choosing how to die before anyone can choose for her. Her name is Cleopatra. Rome has won. Her ally and lover Mark Antony is dead, and capture means being paraded through the streets as a trophy. She refuses. The legend says she has a venomous snake, an asp, brought to her hidden in a basket of figs, and she lets it bite her rather than be taken. Venom over humiliation. Whether or not the snake is real, the weapon is ancient and everywhere. Snake venom has been killing people across the old world for as long as there are snakes and people to step on them. And the proof is hiding inside a word you use all the time. Toxic. It comes from the Greek toxikon, which means poison for arrows. Arrows came from the bow, the toxon, and warriors across the ancient world smear venom and rot onto their arrowheads so that even a graze festers and kills. The word for poison and the word for archery share the same root, because for thousands of years they are the same thing. A bite paralyzes. A coated blade turns a scratch into a death sentence. Cleopatra's asp is the famous one, but the venom is on the arrows of half the ancient battlefields too. Hellebore. It's around 590 BC, and a Greek army has figured out that you don't always need to storm a city. Sometimes you just poison its water. The city is Kura, and it's under siege during a conflict the Greeks call a sacred war. The walls are holding. The defenders are dug in. A direct assault would cost the attackers thousands of men. So instead, according to the old accounts, the besiegers find the pipe carrying fresh water into the city, and they make a quiet adjustment. They dump in a massive quantity of hellebore. Hellebore is a plant the Greeks already use in tiny medical doses, the kind of thing a doctor gives you to purge an illness out. In a controlled amount, it's medicine. Poured into an entire city's water supply, it becomes a weapon that targets every single person at once. The defenders drink, and then the walls of Kirha are manned by soldiers who can barely stand, doubled over with violent, unstoppable diarrhea. You cannot hold a spear when your whole body is trying to empty itself. The fighters are too sick to fight, too weak to guard, too busy dying on the ramparts. The attackers walk in over the bodies of men defeated by their own stomachs, one of the earliest recorded uses of poisoning the water, and it works horrifyingly well. Cyanide. It's ancient Egypt, and death is hiding inside a peach. The Egyptians know something dangerous about everyday fruit. Bitter almonds, peach pits, apricot stones, the hard little hearts inside soft, sweet fruit contain a hidden chemistry. When crushed and broken down in the body, they release cyanide, one of the fastest poisons there is. Cyanide doesn't slow you down or sicken you for days. It chokes you at the cellular level. It stops your body from using oxygen at all, so your blood is full of air you suddenly cannot breathe with. The victim gasps, convulses, and goes in minutes. A clean, terrifying speed. And the Egyptians appear to weaponize it. There are references in their world to a punishment, a death by peach, where the lethal essence is drawn from the pits and used to kill. Imagine a method of execution disguised as a fruit. No blade in sight, just the stone from something you'd happily eat at a banquet. That's the unsettling genius of it. The poison isn't smuggled in from some far exotic source. It's already sitting in the orchard, inside the most innocent thing on the table. The ancients learned to crack the pit, gather the death inside, and hand it to you wrapped in something sweet. Strychnine. It's the ancient world of South and Southeast Asia, and a tree is producing seeds that doctors and murderers both want. The tree gives us Nux vomica, and inside its flat, round seeds is strychnine. People use it for both things at once, which tells you everything. In small, careful amounts, it's folded into traditional medicine, a stimulant, a tonic, a supposed cure. In a larger amount, it's one of the most agonizing ways to die that nature has ever invented. Strychnine attacks the part of your nervous system that's supposed to tell your muscles when to relax. It switches that off, so every muscle in your body receives the signal to contract, and nothing tells them to stop. You go rigid. Then it gets worse. Your back arches off the ground because the strong muscles win the tug of war, bending your spine backward into a frozen, straining curve. Your face locks into a fixed grin. The slightest sound or touch sets off another wave of full-body cramping. And the whole time, like the hemlock that opened all this, your mind stays awake for it. You don't pass out, you feel every spasm. The muscles that lock include the ones you breathe with. So eventually you suffocate inside your own clenched body, conscious until the final second, arched and grinning at nothing.